The history and the story of God and the history of the Bible, the Quran, the Torah are all based on the Hebrew God of Abraham. But is this biblical God the real creator? Has humanity been true to itself in terms of understanding this? Is someone suppressing the truths about God? The pastors, the prophets, the politicians, demons, and aliens might be somewhere in terms of promoting this God of Abraham. Welcome to Hamiti Buru Ethics. We want to invite you to our Zoom meeting dubbed Beyond the Gods. The meeting ID and passcodes are shared here. You can also see them in the description. This will be held on the 9th of December. For times, please send a WhatsApp message and request to the coordinator Prince on the number shown here. The number will also be shared in the description. We are also now on Instagram. You can visit us and like our page, share our page, comment. The page is Merciful_US and the Instagram website is given here and also will be shared in the description. Let's promote this message to as many people as possible to give people options and alternatives, because there is no salvation outside of your culture. Let's proceed with this issue of the God of Abraham. He is mentioned also by Muslims, and millions read his holy book, the Quran. In the Quran, in Surah 49:13, we are taught that mankind was created from a single pair of male and female and made them into nations and tribes that they may know each other, not that you may despise each other. And listen now, when you go to Quran, Surah 2:191, it says, slay the unbelievers wherever you find them. Surah 3:28, Muslims must not take the infidels as friends, but yet it says to know each other but not despise each other. Quran 3:85 says, any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. But remember, it says in Surah 49:13 to know each other, to love each other, and the most righteous of you and is the one that loves others. So this is the God of Abraham. Why don't we know and hear this being taught? Because apologetics comes handy. In chapter 4 of our book, Free from God, where we deal with who is God, we learn that anyone else, whether a Christian, a Jew, Hebrew Israelite, or anybody else who answers the question who is God by retorting that this God is the creator, a spirit, a love, supreme being, or anything you possibly would know, is simply parroting devout or divine phraseology flavored by their own subjective conceptualization of a deity. Because you cannot worship that which you cannot fully comprehend, because the real creator is unknowable, nameless, and indescribable. Believers do not know that because of the teachings of their religions and spiritualities and their philosophies, the truth about this God of Abraham is suppressed. The Hebrew God, who became the Christian God and the Islamic God, has gender, is a male deity, has a name El. Capture this word El, is very important. It's the key to knowing this God, because the real creator is nameless. The real creator cannot be known by any human brain, because we are so limited. We are nothing when you consider the real creator, because it is very clear that this El is the oldest of all gods, is the head of a pantheon, is one of those progenitors of other deities. He has a personal name, nomen proprium, El, nomen appellativum, common noun general term God, which is El, used 230 times in the Masoretic text. So nomen proprium is the actual name. When you know the actual name of anything, you can control it. You can do that which that can do because you now have authority to use its name. So the real creator is unknowable, nameless, and indescribable. Many know the God of Abraham as God the Father, as the one and true God, as the God of the Bible, the God of the Old Testament. El, the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon. He is also the God that is now being worshipped by roughly 2/3 of mankind. He is also Allah. In the Moabite stone found 840 BCE, the first mention of the God of Israel, Yahweh, is given. Omri was the king of Israel and he oppressed Moab, and I took the vessels of Yahweh. You can go to the Louvre in France and you find it written on the stone. This is the God who is now part of human history. El, the Canaanite El, is known as the father of the gods, father of mankind, creator of mankind. He is also one of the many gods, for he has taken his place in the divine council at Dathel. That is Psalms 82. El is also known as the compassionate one, the merciful one. He is also Kodesh, holy. Pastors, prophets, religionists, demons, aliens suppress this information. Why? So that you can continue to give them power in terms of worship of the alien gods. The behavior of these alien gods and deities is seen by their demand for human sacrifice. The human sacrifice story is also intertwined with the God of Abraham, where Abraham was commanded against even the Old Testament itself that says in Deuteronomy 12:31 that you shall not worship the Lord your God by human sacrifice. Yet Abraham mentally sacrificed his son Isaac. At the same time, this God El offered his only begotten son Jesus as a sacrifice. Jesus was the son of man, son of David, a human being who was ritually sacrificed. So the behavior of these deities in sacrifice humans proves that they are not the original true creator. In the Bible, there are descriptions and depictions of deities associated with war, killing each other, killing humans, destroying nature. El is popular as a deity on that. It's a Canaanite deity. If you go to this PowerPoint, Pagan Religions PowerPoint presentation, which is free for download, you will see that the Canaanite god El is at the top. Ahirat, Asherah, his wife, who gave birth to Baal, prince of the earth. Ashtoreth, goddess of war. And Anath, Baal's sister. And Shalim, dusk, darkness. And also Helel, Lucifer, life bringer. All these gods are also Mesopotamian gods, also called Anunnaki by others. The phrase men of war is associated with the Lord as the man of war in Exodus 15 verse 3. The Lord is his name. The man of war. The Lord is his name. The word Lord, now translated from Yahweh. And the Yahweh or Jehovah is another deity. And you go to apologetics, there is an in and all out war and effort in suppressing truths about this God. The history of the Jews and the Hebrew Israelites on their God is permeated with doctrines that are suppressing truths about this God using apologetics, a term derived from the Greek apologia, meaning speaking in defense against even facts. So if you go to Strong's Concordance, H430, Elohim, transliteration, part of speech is a masculine noun. Male is God. Plural of Eloha or El. It's the gods in the ordinary sense. And then they go to apologetics to neutralize the true meaning. This deity is married or was married. The Hebrew God, the God of Abraham, had a wife. So if you go to this Facebook page shown here, you realize that by editing out unwanted passages, names and words, they were able to suppress the truths about God. And now billions will never know But even if they come across this information, they have been so programmed and mentally conditioned to reject it outright. And Yahweh, at his own right hand, Asherah, his wife, stood. And prior to the biblical edits and the reductions and the revisions in earlier original renditions of Deuteronomy 33, 2-3, it reads, Yahweh came from Sinai and shone forth. He showed himself from Mount Paran. Yes, he came among the myriads of Kodesh. At his right hand, his own Asherah. This Asherah is a vanquished goddess who dates back to about 1.5, 1.3 BCE in the Ugaritic text. Is described as the goddess who walked on top of water 1,400 years before the miracle of Jesus, another deity, another god, worshipped now by billions and billions of people across the ages. Another god, another name, El Shaddai. El, Almighty, Shaddai, derived from the Hebrew word shad, meaning breasts, one of a bountiful breasts, sufficiency, the breasted one who nourishes and supplies with the more than enough. You can go into our book and Free from God, we have gone into details how this God is a mountain god, how this God is a fertility deity derived also from melanin dominant human beings phraseology. God also El Olam, El the ancient one, El Elyon, El the most high, who is up on the mountains or higher than the others. When you say most high, means up higher. The history of Canaan predates the history of Judaism and the Jews, and therefore El was adopted by Judaism, and their focus shifted to Yahweh, often referred to as Jehovah. This is El, the Canaanite god, wearing the Atef crown of Hamit of Africans, and therefore this Yahweh evolved from a Mondoro, a clan or a regional deity. He is one of many gods, but then they later said Yahweh is the only one which everybody can do, because it's a fact that for all peoples walk each in the name of its God, but we will walk in the name of El, our Elohim, forever and ever. Micah 4:5, that's what they say. This is a story on the history of this God El, who claims to be the only true one, and yet he is jealous of others. Is a jealous God. I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. If he is the only one, why would we be jealous of others? Because God or El is a deity, not the real creator. Is competing for worshippers. He wants power from those that follow him. This history of religion, inclusive of the history of the Bible secrets revealed here, is unknown by billions. And all you can do is acknowledge the one unknowable who is beyond the chasm, who has given you unmatched power if you decide to use it correctly. Because if you use it any other way, you are already in the frequency and vibration of those gods, specifically the biblical God, who is not the real God, who is not the real creator, whose origins we know was adapted and adopted from mythology. He is divine only when you believe and fear him. Otherwise, he has nothing on you. For more information on this and any other topic, subscribe to our channel, like and comment and share our videos, Hamiti Iburu Ethics. And also, let's meet in our Zoom meeting where we discuss beyond the chasm. You can also send us an email on join@marifado.com. This is your manager Topi, Christian Rabbi LM Jaganja, saying there is a lot of information about God that has been suppressed. And when you use the term God, you are empowering your subjective deity, not the real creator. In many of our videos, we have given the formula of how you can access the unknowable who is beyond, so that you can live happily with no fear, not even fearing death. Amen.